Hi, everybody. Hi. Welcome to Annette Goes into the Kitchen. And of course, I've got my helpers. Oh my gosh, got my helpers. Listen, they ignore me the majority of the time, but for some reason, as soon as I go live, they know it, and they want every second of their 15 minutes of fame they can get. So today, we're making homemade orange creamsicle fudge. And who remembers orange creamsicles? I think for the longest time I called them dreamsicles. But you'd get them like when the ice cream truck came through, and it was the orange popsicle on the outside of a vanilla ice cream on the inside, and it was wonderful. And so I was so surprised when I saw this orange creamsicle fudge, because when you think of fudge, everybody thinks chocolate, right? So I was really surprised. I was really intrigued, and I think somebody posted it on Facebook, which I love, to look around, see what my friends post in terms of recipes on Facebook, because occasionally, this is kind of a relatively new thing with me doing the cooking twice a month, but I'll pick something that somebody's posted because I want them to share in the glory if it turns out great. And I want them to share in the tragedy if it all goes wrong. So I had never made homemade fudge before. And another thing I was surprised about was how relatively easy it was, okay? I will post the recipe in the comments after the stream is over. And I've tweaked it a little bit. I did make a batch on Sunday. I do that. I tend to do that with the cooking streams. I'll tend to make one batch, a day or two before, because sometimes what I'm making has to be cooked or baked, or it has to, in this case, it has to go into the refrigerator for a couple hours, and nobody has that time, and I want you to see the finished product. So I was surprised at how easy it was. Really, really, really sweet. It's basically all sugar, right? But I did tweak it. The recipe called for 3 cups of white sugar. And I felt like, I'm not a big sweet eater, but I feel like when I've had fudge before, it's been creamy, right? And I felt like the white, the granulated sugar, it was a little bit grainy. So I had read in the comments where people have reviewed when they had made the recipe, and I'd read that a couple people said that they had used confectioners or powdered sugar because of the graininess. And I wish I'd kind of read that before I bought everything and tried the first batch. But honestly, I probably still would have followed the recipe pretty much to the T the first time I made it, because there's not a lot of tweakage room with baking. But for this batch, I am going to do the powdered sugar, because I'm hoping that it'll just be a smoother taste. Okay, so let's get this thing going. Got my handy dandy recipe. Really, all this is, okay, is 3 cups of white sugar, 2/3 cup heavy cream, 3/4 cup butter, 1 7-ounce jar of marshmallow cream, 1 11-ounce package of white chocolate chips, 3 teaspoons of orange extract. I actually added a little bit more. And then it has food coloring for the orange, right? And this wanted 12 drops of yellow and 9 drops of red. Well, I just went ahead and bought orange and took care of that. So the first thing that we're going to do is it wants us to grease a 9x13 pan. I found that I didn't need to grease my pan. I just put some wax paper. Okay, so let's do this. I just put a piece of wax paper in it because I felt like that did the trick. Okay, we'll put that over there. So we need it. The next step, we have to take, and this one kind of threw me. We have to take the sugar, the cream, and the butter and put it in this medium pan. I cut the butter this time because last time when I did it, I didn't cut it, and I felt like there were these lumps of butter when I was trying to get it melted, right? So we're going to take the butter, and we're going to take that heavy cream. I'm going to rinse this out because, well, you all know why. Because I'm OCD and I got to have my stuff clean. But this time there's more of a reason than my OCD, because I actually need this little cup a little bit. Okay. Let that dry. And then we're going to take this powdered sugar, the 3 cups of the powdered sugar. Alrighty. And I'll tell you, something threw me. And I don't know if there's a lot of candy makers out there. I'm not a candy maker, okay? It said, not my handy dandy thing, it said that we had to, in a medium saucepan, over medium heat, we would combine the sugar, cream, and butter and heat to a soft ball stage. Well, I had to look that up. I didn't know what that was. And a soft ball stage is where it's heated enough that you can kind of form a ball with it if you were to put it in your hand. And then it also had the degrees, like if you have a candy thermometer or something, which I don't have, a meat thermometer, but don't have a candy one. And I'll tell you, when I did it, it decidedly was not at a softball stage. And there's also another, hi, Fran, how are you? Sorry, my laptop is kind of angled down a little bit for the webcam. I just saw that. Listen, I was saying earlier that I just loved orange creamsicles when I was a kid. I just loved the ice cream. And I'm honestly not a big chocolate person. So next month, I'm making homemade chocolate cream pie. That's going to be the dessert of the month next month. But I'm not a big chocolate person. And so fudge wasn't necessarily my thing. But when I saw this, I was really intrigued. And I was so surprised when I made a batch. I guess it was yesterday or Saturday, at how relatively easy it was. As I said, the only thing I tweaked, and I will post the recipe in the comments, the only thing that I've tweaked is this time I'm using confectioner's or powdered sugar instead of the regular sugar because I don't want it as grainy as it was. And I noticed that some other people had said in their comments and reviews of the recipe that that's what they had used. So, but I'm going to tell you that it wasn't at a soft ball stage as the recipe wanted, this sugar and cream and butter mixture, and I don't think it's going to be that way today either, but it did not affect the outcome. So when I post the recipe, and if you try it, don't let that freak you out, okay? I don't know if it would have been better should it come to a softball stage? I don't know. But don't let that freak you out. So, and this decidedly is not gonna do it at all. Could be because of using the confectioner's sugar this time, right? So, and what I wish that they would say instead of the softball stage, or and there is another way you can test it if it's not in a softball stage. You can get like a little bowl of cold water. I can do that. And make sure it's really cold. We'll get an ice cube. And it says you can take a clean spoon and you can, oh, my chef's hat is falling off. And it says that you can take a clean spoon of this mixture and put it in the cold water. And like if you can form a ball with that, then it's done. Again, that didn't work for me either, but the fudge came out fine. Hi, Sarah. How are you? Welcome. So, and if if you're just joining and you missed some of this stuff, some of the stuff I've been talking about, you just go back and watch it, okay? But, so we're getting a little bit creamy. You're really going to be surprised at how easy it is. Has anybody ever made homemade fudge before? Am I the only person that's surprised by how easy it was? Oh, it dropped down. Anyone? Okay, we're going to get this because we're going to need this again pretty soon. Now, tomorrow, since I started doing this, I do 2 cooking streams a month. I usually do the dessert first, and then I do the dessert one day, usually Mondays, and then I do the entree on Tuesdays. And tomorrow, I'm making, I say pho, but I've heard Lynn is actually in Vietnam, and I've heard her say that, and that's not how it's pronounced. But tomorrow I'm making Vietnamese pho, and it'll be later than I normally do it because we haven't told anybody. You guys are the first to know because it's actually going to be a double, a double feature, because Lynn is going to join from Vietnam, and then right as my tour's ending, we're going to roll into her tour, and we're going to have a special guest. So I say pho, she's going to say it the right way tomorrow, but that's tomorrow. Homemade chicken and beef pho. All right. Fran says she tried to make it. It didn't turn out, never really solidified. Huh. Was it because you didn't get it to the softball stage, Fran? Because mine really solidified, even though I didn't get it where it was supposed to be. Fran says I bake, and a friend of mine makes candy, so we create things for each other. That's a good plan. I'm not much of a baker, but I'm trying. Well, don't scare me, Fran. Don't scare me. But I'm going to tell you, I did not get mine to the softball stage. But look, that's what I made. Look at that. So even though I didn't get it to the softball stage, it's still solidified. So we're going to hope for this one, because this, right? I mean, it looks okay. And I'll be honest, I'm a little bit worried because like I said, I did swap out. Um, I did swap out the regular sugar for the confectioner sugar, hoping to make it a little more creamy. It's kind of starting to boil. I'm going to try this trick they said that you could try, and that's take a spoonful and put it in the water and see what it does. It is not doing what it said it should do, but it didn't do it yesterday either. We'll see. All right, I'm going to remove this from heat, but that looks good, right? And I always, I mean, I can't possibly eat all the stuff that I make, so I always share with my neighbors. And the one good thing about this recipe is if it doesn't really turn out that great, I'll probably just whip up another batch. Okay, so I've got this off the heat now. We'll remove it from the heat, and the next step is going to be always a little tricky. I don't want to get my laptop too close to the heat. Says that we're going to remove it from heat, and we're going to stir in the marshmallow. Nobody asked you. Dogs are chiming in. And we're going to stir in the marshmallow fluff, the cream. Boy, this stuff is good. You know, I just heard a couple of years ago about people eating like sandwiches called fluffernutters or something like that, where it's peanut butter and this stuff. I just cannot imagine. You guys heard of that? Oh, stuff's so gooey. Okay. So we have that entire container. And, oh boy. Gooey, gooey, gooey. Gooey. That's going to be fun to get off of that, right? And then we're going to put in these white chocolate chips. Stir it. My phone turned off. What's Fran saying? Yeah. Oh, peanut butter and fluffer sandwiches. Yeah, I'm not, yeah. Like I said, I'm not a big sweet eater. Not really. Every now and then, the thing that I discovered lately, which really does the trick for me, is I loved Jolly Ranchers growing up, but now they've made Jolly Rancher gummies, and they taste exactly like the hard candy. They are so good. I find if I have like 3 of those before I go to bed, it's absolutely perfect. Okay. Oh boy. Well, I'll tell you. It feels like the same texture that I had the other day when I made the fudge with the granulated sugar. So let's see. I don't know about these little, they kind of look like little balls of marshmallows in there. Maybe I just need to keep stirring. Yeah, when I stir like this, I just always want to grab my whisk. Well, it's getting quite thick now, which I think is what we want. It doesn't look very thick, but it feels it when I'm stirring it. Now, get up this recipe, and Okay. Now we're going to, I'm telling you guys, I'm going to be shocked at how easy this is. It says that we want to reserve 1 cup of this mixture. About a cup. Oh, that is just, I cannot imagine giving kids this. It is so sweet, you guys. So sweet. Okay. Oh, stop your heart. Now, it wants us to add, put back here and check, 3 teaspoons of the orange flavoring. Where's my teaspoon? Now, when I did this the other day, I actually added 4. And this is, it's orange extract. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to add another one because I think it kind of helps with the sweetness. Let's just add a little bit more of that. Okay. Stir that in. And then it wants us to add the food coloring. And you'll notice in the recipe when I post it that the recipe asked for 12 drops of yellow food coloring and 9 drops. Woo! You can actually smell that orange. And 9 drops of red, because we know red and yellow make orange. But I went ahead and just got orange food coloring, and I added 10 the other day. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7. Okay. Stir that up. That is a pretty color of orange. Pretty. Friend, do you think that you might give fudge a go again? Maybe with this recipe. Maybe you can surprise your friend. Okay, now, believe it or not, we're about done. We are going to take this. Remember, it said grease a pan, but I found that I didn't need to do that. I just got this piece of paper. I'm going to put it in here. Here we go. Oh. Let me tell you what. This Dutch oven, this cast iron Dutch oven, I used it because I had it out on the stove for the pho for tomorrow, right? This is heavy. It is heavy, sisters and misters. If there's any misters watching. Woo, it's heavy, heavy. Oh, holy moly. Whew. Now, righty. Sorry, girls. I need my little scraper there. God, I need it. So now we've got the orange mixture poured in here, right? And we're going to take that. Remember the bit that we set aside? We're going to take that, pour it on the top. It's not exactly going to cover it, but that's okay. That is all right. Whew. And then take a knife. This is how we're going to create the swirls. Up. What I did the other day is I went in there, this little wax. Woo, woo, woo. That was almost a lot of fun to clean up. This little wax and it's making me crazy in my way. That's how I feel about you. The wax paper. Okay. Then I went like this. And I just did this a couple, 3, 4 times. See how that's getting? Isn't that cool? This is really gooey. Oh. Okay. I think that is pretty good. Take that extra off. It'll just be in the way. And that is it. It's going to go into the refrigerator for it says 2 hours. But the other day when I made it, well, I mean, I left it in the refrigerator the whole time after I made it, right? But before I even tried to cut it, I think it was in there like 4 hours. And I showed you how it came out, right? You cut it into any old sizes that you want, okay? That's it. It was that easy. And we'll keep our fingers crossed that it turns out good with the powdered sugar. I'll let you know that it solidifies and turns out good with the powdered sugar as it did with the granulated sugar, okay? What do you think? So Fran says she thinks she's going to give it a try. Anybody else? Fran, was this as easy as when you made the fudge the last time? Yeah, I was shocked how easy it was. So, but I'll tell you what, Fran, hold off on making it unless you want to go, with the granulated sugar route. Hold off and wait and see if it turned out good with the powdered sugar if you want to try that. I think it should, but oh boy. Oh, so sweet. I think it should turn out okay because some people in the reviews, and you'll see it when I post the recipe in the comments, said that they had swapped it out for powdered sugar. And so, like I said, don't get too worked up when the recipe calls for the softball stage. And yeah, I'll let you know. What I'll do is I'll post a picture on Facebook. How about that? When I cut into it, because I'm going to put it into the refrigerator in just a minute. And thank you for coming. I said next month's dessert will be homemade chocolate cream pie. I've never made it before, but I'm cheating and I'm buying the graham cracker crust. And then because next month is Cinco de Mayo, the entree next month will be chicken and shrimp fajitas, Spanish rice, refried beans, and homemade flour tortillas for the fajitas. I finally bought my tortilla press, and I've looked at the recipes and they don't look that hard. So that will be next month. But tomorrow is the faux. I know it's not called that. Lynn's going to correct me. And that's going to be a double tour with Lynn and a surprise guest. Lynn will be joining us from Vietnam. Okay. Thank you so much for coming. And I'll let you know. Look for the recipe in the comments. And listen, have a great day. A great morning, a great afternoon, a great evening, wherever you are in the world. All right. Bye-bye. Thanks for coming. Bye-bye.